pre-show intro. Are you kidding me?
Game changer from our friends at Restream. Nobody else cares because nobody else saw it. But the three of us saw it, and it rocked every single one of our worlds.
So smooth, those numbers.
Oh gosh. Do we make the announcement in the pre-show?
The announcement? No, we save everything for the pod.
Okay. All right.
For the show.
Yeah. For the show. The show. Please.
I say we
everybody.
Start at 7:31 on the dot. As soon as the clock
so you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Talking ball Thursday.
Like people come in quick and then they're like, oh, nothing's happening. And then they
imagine leaving. Don't do it.
Yep.
Owen, second ever live stream. What's up, man?
Dude. Owen.
Who is it? Owen.
Joe?
Owen's 17 like the Jets this year.
Joe, please. Here you go.
This is for you. Oh, I forgot about this. The good news is they don't even know what you took out. Like I doubled down in the worst possible way, and you actually saved me there. But man,
that's twice I've saved you in the last month.
It's true. That's why you're here, Chris. It's why you bring value to the pod.
I would just like to point out it is 7:31.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, all right. Hold on there. Hold on.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes here on the Draft Dudes live stream presented by Mighty Swell. Boom, it's a grapefruit night again for me. I've been rocking the grapefruits.
Grapefruit once again. That's right. We would like to establish right off the jump that Chris is outside, so no one's breaking wind. It's just it might be a little bit of a breeze going by his microphone.
There's a big vent.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a chair on the other side of me that I could go sit in, but it's very sunny, and I don't know if you guys can see. You know what? I'll move. Listen, I'm all for the people, all for making the people happy. So,
Chris, let me ask you this:
here in the sun.
What's the temperature out there today?
So I'm not in Arizona actually. I
yeah, but you're still in a hot place.
It's about 95, I think, today. 90 degrees here in beautiful Los Angeles, California. Here you go.
Guys, I'm getting roasted in the chat. I mean, big time. And I deserve it. If they could only see the real time when I realized that I had him crossed.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
I was mortified for
absolutely
you,
beautiful.
So.
Yeah. I haven't even went back and listened because I don't think I want to.
No, you don't. You don't. You're not at all. Welcome in, everybody. This is Talkin' Ball Thursday is what it says there on the stream. We're just hanging out, talking football for the next half hour or so. So whatever you guys have for the guys, this is going to be like a little Friday free-for-all on a Thursday.
I'm going to get a timeout right off the jump before we open this up.
Please.
Is there a less surprising development than Urban Meyer getting fined with Jacksonville for OTA violations? I don't know if you saw that today or not, Chris, but 3 teams got fined for OTA violations: the Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And whatever Urban Meyer did, he got twice the fine himself, $100,000 of what Kyle Shanahan and Mike McCartney got fined. So I was just kind of curious if anybody else was not stunned at all to hear that Urban, first opportunity to have something at which he pressed the rules, he got popped.
That's more punishment than he got in college, right?
He just ran before it ever got serious.
Well, my statement's not inaccurate then.
Right. Okay, this might be a little bit of an irresponsible statement, but I'm going to say it anyways.
It's always a great start. Great start to a segment.
Hold on, Joe. Hold on.
You got the dump button ready, Shub? You ready?
No, I got the full screen for you. Go right ahead.
There you go.
It's not that type of thing. Shuby, there we go. Kyle mentioned Kyle Shanahan in that list, and I don't think this is the first time Kyle Shanahan's name has come up for off-season violations. And I just can't help but think about how snake-bitten that team always is. Meanwhile, this man continues to get fined for OTA off-season violations.
He leaves. He's out.
Kyle is not at his desk right now. Please come back in another time.
Kyle just goes.
I was going to say something, and you totally threw me for a loop there. So it's been quite the day between that and NIL stuff coming out all throughout the day today, which has been really cool to see what opportunities some of these athletes have been able to identify for themselves. But like the news dump today has just been like boom, boom, boom.
More importantly, Reggie Bush told the Heisman committee, "Give me back my Heisman."
Yeah, and you know what? Reggie's got a point, and I hope Reggie does get his Heisman back.
He should have never have gotten it taken away from him. And have I made my argument to you guys about these kinds of things where they take away wins and they take away trophies and stuff like that? You can't replace my memories. You can't replace my eyeballs. I watched Reggie Bush play. I watched him win the Heisman. I watched them hand him the trophy on a stage. You can't just come out and say, "Oh, he didn't win this anymore. Forget everything you saw." Like, no, that's not how this works.
Does he have to give up the trophy, take it somewhere?
No, they physically took the trophy.
Yeah, they took it away from him.
He's no longer recognized as a
legal?
Heisman Trophy winner. Well, he's no longer recognized as a trophy winner, so they have to take it from him, I guess.
So, it'd be one thing if it was with baseball, with the steroids and stuff like that, with the home run championship or home run title and all that kind of stuff. I understand if it would be a performance-enhancing situation. This has nothing to do with that. None of this made Reggie Bush a more phenomenal collegiate football player.
And can I add something to the baseball argument there for a second, Kyle? What we're seeing with a lot of those guys is where they're getting punished is at the end, right? They're getting punished when it comes to the Hall of Fame. And the writers aren't saying what you saw didn't exist. It's just saying we're not going to reward it. What the college football is trying to do is retroactively after the fact be like, "Oh, how could we do this? We're going to take this from you." It's ridiculous.
I listened to Johnny Manziel on Pat McAfee's, I guess it's a radio show. And he was on there talking about, he's like, "Man, I was making $30,000 to go to a hotel room. They said, 'Hey, come here. There's going to be thousands of things for you to sign. And we're going to slip you 30 grand in a bag.'" And he's straight up just saying, "Yeah, I did that while I was at Texas A&M. So you're going to Reggie Bush is going to be the one guy that's just going to have to pay for the sins of so many people. Come on. It happened. He's the Heisman. All the records stand.
Amen to that.
Well, the overall football talk's got something for us here. Would you rather have the wide receiver trio of DJ Chark, Marvin Jones, and Laviska Shenault, or Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, and Anthony Miller to throw to?
Wow, that's good.
All right, you could do this any number of different ways. You can look at who's the best talent on this list, and it's Allen Robinson by far. Or you could stack them and say, okay, would you rather have the wide receiver one from Chicago or Jacksonville? And your answer is going to be Chicago. But would you rather have Marvin Jones or Darnell Mooney?
Jones is the right choice.
I was going to say, don't make this harder than it has to be. Otherwise, it's going to be a terrible segment. And then, would you rather have Laviska Shenault or Anthony Miller?
Visca.
So 2 out of 3 goes to Jacksonville for the depth. But is that undervaluing what Allen Robinson as an individual talent brings to the table? I'm not going to tell you the right or wrong answer because I don't necessarily think that there is one, but I would personally want the best player. I would want the Chicago one.
And I like Mooney too, man. He was a guy that I loved in the process. And I think I said, I put this out there. I said, I'm not sure what KJ Hamler gives you in the second round that Darnell Mooney doesn't give you later in the draft. And I feel good about that take right now based on what we've seen through one season.
Yeah. I mean, he has definitely flashed, and with better quarterback play, hopefully that production will follow.
Tell says take Jerome Ford will be a top 5 back in the 2022 draft.
He's the new Cincinnati back. He was number 2 to Dokes last year. I haven't watched him in depth yet. I need to. He's very productive when he got chances to touch the football, and I like his style. But I feel like I like every Cincinnati running back. Even the guy before Dokes, I liked him. Couldn't remember his name for a million. Michael Warren? Yeah, Michael Warren. Yeah. I liked him too. So I like the style of football player that comes through that Cincinnati program under the name of the coach.
Luke Fickell. Yeah. And Ford came from Alabama, correct?
Was he a Yes, he's a transfer. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So you know the talent's there. So I don't know that that's necessarily a bad take. What was the parameters on it, Chris? It was top
five
running
in the
back?
2022 draft. Yes, top 5 back.
Yeah, I mean, Joe hasn't got around to watching him yet, but that's a wide open gauntlet as far as we did that when we talked on Thursday. Kind of a big picture view of what our initial impressions are based on the regional scouting that we've done. And we openly said there's like 6 guys that are in a tight bunch here. And if Joe watches him and likes him, then he could very easily enter that conversation and be a part of that.
Vontel, it's very hot out here, and the hoodie was a mistake, but I've kind of committed to being outside at this point, and so we're just gonna move on.
I thought maybe it was like a sunscreen type thing where you didn't want your skin exposed, so you wore
That's a real
sleeves.
thing.
Yeah, I think about doing it a lot here because I literally hate putting on sunscreen. It's like disgusting. I hate the way it smells. So there are times where I've opted for that.
That was part of it, but also like the chair I was sitting in on the other side was in the shade, and I was like, oh, I can wear my sweatshirt, it'll be nice and cool. I've now moved over here so you guys don't have that loud noise in the background.
But the sun just blasting your eyes.
The sun is just right in my face.
I hate to tell you this, sitting in the shade in 95 is not going to be nice and cool no matter what you're wearing.
Would have been better than where I'm currently seated. But
shout out to Panini America.
That's right.
That's right. Repping the brand.
Right.
Vontel actually had a take that he wanted to share. Who has the better roster on paper, the Colts or the Chargers?
Can I say the Chargers?
I mean, I would agree with you if that was your answer. So,
okay, better quarterback, Chargers.
Yes.
Better running back room, Colts.
The room in its entirety, yes.
Better offensive line is Colts.
Yes.
Tight ends.
Do pass catchers.
Pass catchers.
It makes it simpler. It's the Chargers.
Chargers by far.
Yeah.
D-line, defensive ends. Ooh. Defensive ends, Chargers. Interior defensive line, Colts. Linebacker, Colts. Corner, Colts. Safety.
Colts have a better defense. I think that's fair. And Charles agrees in the chat. Says Colts D wins. I think the Colts defense has more appealing, but I look at we gave the Colts the favor on the offensive line, and that's the right call to make. But I like a lot of the pieces that the Chargers now have in there. And I think your quarterback situation, Herbert has to go out and do it again. But the level of play last year in comparison to Carson Wentz is not even close.
Do you think there's a single NFL decision maker that would actually choose to have Wentz over Herbert if given the choice? Like right now, you can have either one. I mean, that would be skewed heavily towards Herbert, right?
Correct. He's younger. He doesn't have the bad habits. He's not injury prone at this point in time, like Wentz has struggled with durability. Yeah, give me Wentz give me Herbert all the way through, and I would be surprised if anybody else disagree. I thought he was going to come back without his shirt on.
No. I mean, as you guys know, I'm on a little bit of a vacation, but I snuck out some time to do the show with you guys. And the people I'm hanging out with, they know I'm doing the show, and they chose now as the time to ask me for things.
Hey, Chris.
Yes. Yeah. There's a window. There's a window right here, and they're knocking on it. They're like, "Do you have your phone?" I'm like, "No, I'm doing the show right now." So we're okay.
You got to do the Tommy Lee Jones. I don't care.
I don't. Sorry,
I don't care.
Sorry, can't help you.
I just realized that was Tommy Lee Jones, and when I say realized, I was made aware of it because you said it, and now it clicks.
So you get the GIF though.
I do, but I never remember. It never occurred to me that was Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, he thought it was some other actor. That's what it was.
I just never thought about
the guy with the 2 eyes and the nose.
Yeah, Kyle.
Yeah. He thought it was The Rock, actually, or A-Rod or whatever.
Yeah, you're right. I never learned. Never learned. It's terrible.
I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry to keep bringing it up, but it's just never going to go away. The fact that you thought The Rock and A-Rod,
especially such a harsh criticism that I delivered, to a man who didn't deserve it, just catching strays for no reason.
Right. The whole point of the segment to open the show, and if you have not listened to, I believe that was Wednesday's show.
Yes.
Please go back and listen to the beginning of it. Is Kyle was attempting to heap praise onto The Rock for something, and Joe just came in.
His new energy drink. Yeah.
Just ton of bricks, and he's like, "No, The Rock can't be that good." He's, and then he just went off on this tangent.
Broke up with J-Lo.
Tomatoes.
Right. Charles has it right. Joe went all in on that take. He was so committed to it.
I think the one that you saved me from was actually worse. But
yes.
The world will never know about
the
that.
world. I guess we'll never know.
We'll never know. That will stay in the
Too
vault
much Mighty Swell. When did we recorded that in the evening?
There could have been a Mighty Swell consumed. This one from Sean. Who's your dark horse MVP candidate?
Well, are we using
Let's use our friends over at Bet Online. Yeah.
Like how
we're gonna
far
go
down do we
hunting
have
for good values?
Yeah, so like how far down do you have to go? I'm laughing at people roasting me. I deserve it. How far do you have to go for it to be a dark horse? Like outside the top 5?
I mean, certainly I think outside the top 5 is where you start to get into they're going to have to get some help in order to do so. Where's Derrick Henry, Kyle? Because I don't have it pulled up in front of me. That feels like the one,
my producer's currently working on it. And,
he said, "Woo!"
I'm sitting here looking at a loading screen. So I would love to tell you what the betting odds are.
If Stafford's outside the top 5, I think that's a good choice.
Really?
But I'll tell you what, man, the Rams, like the messaging coming out of LA right now about Stafford is like a little uncomfortable.
Sean McVay's completely head over heels in love.
It is something else, man.
Can we talk about the Coach of the Year odds, by the way, as well? While we're here doing this dark horse MVP, and I have the list.
Joe, they got CFL futures up too.
Oh no,
that's right up.
Let's go.
So here's your top 5, Joe. Patrick Mahomes plus 350, Josh Allen plus 900, Stafford plus 1400, Brady plus 1400, Rodgers plus 1600.
Okay, so Stafford is not a dark horse MVP candidate. He's a very popular choice.
Derrick Henry at plus 5,000 feels like my dark horse candidate.
Where's Tannehill?
Ryan Tannehill is currently sitting at plus 2,500.
Is that dark horse?
That's outside the top 5. That would be considered. Herbert's plus 1,600.
Where's Dak?
Dak is also at plus 1,600. I'd like to talk about the Coach of the Year favorite being Brandon Staley at plus 1,200, and I would like somebody to explain to me why that's the case.
Well, they're going to win 10 games and go to the playoffs, and everyone's going to be happy with that.
Fun little second tier here we got, huh?
In the MVP or the coach?
No, the Coach of the Year.
There is so much value, I think, in Ron Rivera at plus 1,600, Kyle Shanahan at plus 1,800, Frank Reich at plus 2,200. There is some good value there.
Who do you like, Kyle? You have somebody that's popping to you?
Well, no, I'm just looking at it's Brandon Staley at plus 1,200, and then Flores, Stefanski, and McVay at plus 1,400 is the next group of 3.
But don't you feel like that's the tier of Coach Flores, Stefanski, and McVay where everyone kind of expects those teams to win double digits and go to the playoffs?
Right. So that's where you're never going to win the award with those odds unless you go like 14-3. Right. Like that's the path for you to get it when that's your preseason expectation. So I don't know. Tomlin plus 2,500 is for a good coach. For a good coach, good value.
Vontel, this is going to warm your heart because I'm going to say something nice about the Cardinals, but Cliff at plus 2,800 if they do what they're supposed to do in the NFC West. If they win that division with double-digit wins.
That's what you think they're supposed to do this year?
No. What I mean by that, like what they want to do inside that building, right? Inside that building, they want to make the playoffs. So if they get to double-digit wins and win that division to make the playoffs, I think nationally there'll be this Kyler and Cliff walking to the playoff
I think so.
party.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're exactly right. If that happens, I don't think it will.
What about Vic Fangio, who has the second to worst odds if they manage to trade for Rodgers?
Put $10 on it right now.
He's plus 3,300.
Yeah, it's going to be a 12-win team if they get Rodgers.
Right. So
you get it now.
If you're looking, because if they get Rodgers, he ain't going to be a plus 3,300.
No, he'll be top 10.
So that's kind of like I'll throw 10, $20 on that and just like, hey, why not? We'll see if Rodgers eventually does push his way out along the way. But other than that, it's really hard to find a good value here that you feel good about other than Vrabel at 2,800. If they end up winning the AFC North or AFC South and do so comfortably.
Charles mentions Sean McDermott, and I think McDermott's in that category where the expectations are there. Like, I think most people expect the Bills to win 11, 12 games, something like that. And I think when that's your expectation, that makes it difficult for you to actually get that award.
Joe, they'd have to go 16-1 and be the 1 seed in the AFC.
Yeah.
Right? They would have to beat.
I think that's what McDermott would have to do to get it.
Right, because it's that award in particular is such a narrative-driven award, more than any of the other ones. That one in particular, if you come out of nowhere and surprise what your expectations are, or you win a division that you're not supposed to, you can do it. That's why Kevin Stefanski won it a year ago.
Yeah. I like Sean's choice there of Joe Judge, because I think we've all been very complimentary of where the rest of this roster is. If he gets Daniel Jones to a level where they can win the NFC East at 10-7, like, why can't that be Joe Judge? That's his course, and I think it's not that crazy.
Have you seen the number 1 overall pick odds?
No,
they're hot garbage.
To know.
Yeah, the futures odds. They're hot garbage.
They're hot garbage.
So Spencer Rattler is plus 140.
Yeah, I think he's the one.
Kayvon Thibodeau is plus 275, which if a team that doesn't need a quarterback ends up with the number 1 overall pick and they can't manufacture a trade, it's probably going to be Thibodeau, right? Let's just like completely honest. Sam Howell plus 450. Malik Willis plus 750.
Okay. This seems okay so far, Kyle.
Keaton Slovis plus 1,200. Tyler Show plus 1,400.
Ooh, if the world knew what we graded him at in the
They're going to find out in the next month. JT Daniels plus 1,800. Derek Stingley Jr. plus 2,000. Desmond Ritter plus 2,000. Sevyn Banks plus 3,300.
Desmond Ritter, you love to see it.
Ritter. Wow, that's okay. So Stingley, man, that's fun. I don't think a corner would go number 1 overall.
No,
but like, let's do this. Let's do this right now. The Jets get the number 1 pick in the draft. Thibodeau. Zach Wilson shows you everything that you want. Thibodeau or Stingley. Like that's how that conversation could be had, right?
I would take Derek Stingley.
Ooh. Okay, but would you rather trade out of that pick?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can do that and still get Derek Stingley.
Which is why those are the two things I like the most.
Why do I feel like it's going to be a long time before a non-quarterback is the number 1 pick overall again?
Well, because I think this is a year that it is wide open enough. There's only been a handful of times. I literally just did this. Joe, you see that comment from Tell?
Yeah, I do.
No, Tell, it's going on the live stream, so you cannot walk away from this. You're stuck.
Why does he? Yeah, I don't think he's trying to hide from it. And he said, "Keep the receipt." This man believes it.
I'm etching it into stone. I'm etching.
I spent my morning with Phil Furjakovic today, so he's fresh on my mind. We had a good conversation about him today. I don't see that right now. I don't see that at all. I think even if he has so much to work on. He's one of those quarterbacks that you see the appeal. He has good size. He's made some really big time throws, down the field, tight windows, outside the numbers. I like his courage in the pocket, his toughness. You could tell he's a competitor. I like what he did in high school. I just think he's just not a rigidly repped quarterback right now. And what's on his plate at Boston College, I love. Like I really like what's happening at Boston College schematically. But they put a lot on his plate last year, and his sequencing and timing and rhythm and how he surveys the field in relationship to the concepts that are being asked for him to read and survey, it's just not synced up right now. So can he take a massive jump forward this year? Absolutely. But there's no way, based on what I saw today, right, studying this guy, watch 5 games, that I could think of this player as a first-round quarterback or even a number 1, as high as a number 1 overall pick.
So, Joe, you wanted to have the conversation about how long it's going to be before we see a non-quarterback go number 1 overall. I did this for TDN last weekend.
Did you really?
Do you know how many times it was a part of the conversation and story that I wrote?
Oh.
Since 2000, do you know how many times a non-quarterback has been the number 1 overall pick in the draft?
Garrett Clowney, Jake Long.
You're missing half of them.
You're kidding. I'm missing half.
Yes.
Okay, there's got to be another offensive tackle that I'm just blanking.
There is.
Right now. Oh, Eric Fisher.
Okay. There you go. Wind the clocks back a little bit.
Number 1 overall pick.
Chris, it's your microphone. It's not the.
God, Fisher.
No, there's a vent in here too that makes.
Is there?
Yeah.
I can't hide the chat. I saw Mario Williams. I'm out.
Mario Williams and Courtney Brown in 2000.
Courtney Brown, my guy. Okay.
So the quarterbacks in those years that were QB1, Mitchell Trubisky at number 2 overall in 2017. No. Blake Bortles, number 3 overall in 2014. EJ Manuel, number 16 overall in 2013. No. Matt Ryan, number 3 overall in 2008.
Okay. All right.
Vince Young, number 3 overall in 2006. And then Chad Pennington, number 18 overall in 2000.
Brother, this happens for a reason.
Right. So we kind of have a wide open field right now.
Yeah.
And either somebody's going to take the bull by the horns, or everybody's going to have the same questions at the end of this college season that they all currently have, because every single top quarterback prospect has questions right now, enough that like you should be really apprehensive about saying any single one of them is a lock.
For sure.
And if that happens, you got 2 positional studs in Kayvon Thibodeau and Derek Stingley, plus whoever else may rise throughout the process, that it could be one of those years.
Now I'm starting to get concerned if this isn't like, the years where we saw like Blaine Gabbert, Blake Bortles. You mentioned Blake Bortles already. Christian Ponder. We've seen EJ Manuel. These types of quarterbacks get forced into being high picks because that could happen. I remember that year was like Landry Jones and Matt Barkley, and you're watching these guys all year long, and you're like, I'm not sure this is a first-round quarterback, but these are the guys we have to talk about. And it's a deep class, and like you'd like to think that somewhere in this, a lot of guys step forward. And the simple fact that between Joe Burrow and you mentioned Trubisky, who was the second pick, but Baker Mayfield took a big step. We've seen
Kyler Murray was a baseball player.
Yeah, he was a baseball player. Like we've seen this happen pretty consistently. Zach Wilson came out of nowhere. So we've had one of those guys at least every year recently.
Right. So that's the pathway for this happening. And if it materializes like that, it could be an ugly year, especially because you have other studs at other positions that would be worth the selection. So that was just kind of a fun walk down memory lane to see like, okay, like even in 4 of the 6 years in which a non-quarterback did go number 1, QB was number 3 or number 2 overall. But then the 2 years that it wasn't, you had a pretty good number 1 QB in Chad Pennington back in 2000, which was a different generation of NFL quarterbacks, if we're being honest. And then EJ Manuel. And those were the 2 outcomes when you wait outside the top 10 for QB1 to go in the top 10.
Yeah. Chad Pennington's son declared to Marshall today. Yeah.
Did he really?
Not kidding. Literally today, I saw the tweet come across the timeline. Yeah. His son.
Getting old, man.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting old.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Can we close with something?
Yes.
I have 2 things, actually. Look at how great this cat laying on the desk in the office that I'm working in is.
Living his or her best life.
Her best life. Von Tell talked about CBS Sports' top 32 coaches list that was put out. I pulled this up. We have to discuss this.
I have not seen this.
And I hadn't until I pulled it up. This is how they did this. Coaches were ranked with past performance and future outlook. And the best way to view this is to consider it as a coach's draft, as if you could build a team and take any of these guys to run a team.
So age is factored in.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I'm going to read you 10 through 1, if that's all right.
Chris, this sounds like a great rebuttal concept for a show.
Okay, we'll keep that in mind then as I read this list. Mike Tomlin, number 10. Matt LaFleur, number 9.
It's already wrong.
Matt LaFleur, number 9. Bruce Arians, number 8. Pete Carroll, number 7. Sean McVay, number 6. Sean McDermott, number 5. Sean Payton, number 4. John Harbaugh, number 3. Bill Belichick, number 2. Andy Reid, number 1.
Okay, so they took all the oldest head coaches in the league that's supposed to be valued for projecting them forward, and they put them on the top 5 anyway.
Right. Bruce is going to coach 1 or 2 more years. Same with
Correct.
Belichick.
Belichick. You got Andy Reid, who's up there. Pete Carroll's the oldest coach in football.
Right. And he's above Tomlin and LaFleur?
Yep. LaFleur is 9th.
By the way, Brian Flores did not make the top 10. Guy's like 39 years old.
He did not.
Brian Flores. Really how old he is? He's 39?
He's like 40 or 41, yeah.
Okay.
16th on the list for Brian Flores.
16th?
16th on the list.
Okay, so the oldest head coach in football is Pete Carroll. Will be 71 in September. Bill Belichick is 69 years old. He turned 69 in April. Nice. Bruce Arians, the 3rd oldest head coach. He's turned 69 in October. David Culley, 4th oldest head coach in football.
He ranked 32nd on the list.
Rightfully so. Mike Zimmer, 65. Andy Reid turned 63 in March.
Can I read you the blurb about this past performance thing? Because I think it makes it worse when I read it out loud.
Yeah.
Quote, coaches were ranked with past performance and future outlook in mind. So this isn't a legends list rewarding solely those who've won a ton or won it all before, but it's also not ignorant of resumes. No matter how promising Arthur Smith may be in Atlanta, we just can't quite take him over, say, Mike Zimmer at this juncture. This formula obviously makes the list especially subjective, but goodness, isn't that what lists are for, end quote. I don't even think you followed the rules that you set out in that paragraph.
Charles wants to party with Pete Carroll, which makes me wonder.
I would party with Pete.
I would party with Pete as well.
Think so? Do you think he can let loose? Is he not like...
Did you not see him take his shirt off at the combine with DK Metcalf? That's like the big question. Is could he throw down a beer with all the gum that he chews?
Okay. The most obvious answer is Bruce Arians. Like, he's the consensus #1 overall coach to have a drink with.
Correct.
And I'm telling you, I think Vic Fangio is a sleeper top 5 pick.
We've done this before.
An old Italian guy like that, man, you know he's going to be a loose cannon with a couple in him, man.
Gruden?
Oh, 20th on the list, by the way.
Yeah, that maybe that's a little high, but I'm partying with Gruden for sure.
Yeah.
Sam brings up a good point. They literally say not a legends list in the top 5. Reid, Belichick, Harbaugh, Sean Payton.
Yeah.
Okay. Bottom tier coaches to party with. Belichick, for sure.
No, you know what? You ever see the video of him at the Halloween party?
Oh,
he showed up as a pirate.
And Campbell.
He's high. He's high. He's high up
on the party list.
Kyle has a little spot for Belichick. He wants to have a beer with him.
Did you not see him show up at the Halloween party in the pirate outfit? All I'm saying is I've seen the guy in the summertime. He's out in Siesta Key or the Bahamas or whatever, and he's diving off his boat, living his best. Like, I don't know. He's probably at that point where he's living his best life in the off season. He's accomplished everything there is to accomplish.
I ain't partying with Zach Taylor. Not happening.
He'd be all right. I think McDermott would be pretty terrible.
Joe Judge, no thank you.
Oh, Joe Judge, for sure. For sure. You know, he's probably one of those guys.
I feel like Joe Judge would go ahead.
He'd get drunk and he'd rage, and you just wouldn't want to be near him because he'd be so annoying.
I was you know what I mean? Say he'd get drunk and try and make you to pledge for his fraternity. Like,
right. Yeah, dude. Like, no, I don't think so.
Meet me on the 9th green at midnight. Like,
oh boy.
I agree. David Culley would be bottom of my list.
He's got stories though, man. You know,
he does have stories, but he just seems very like mellow, like to the umpteenth degree. I'm not partying with Cliff Kingsbury. He's gonna make me feel self-conscious.
Right. Or McVay.
Right. I think maybe we can do a tier maker list on coaches we'd most like to party with, Chris. But I think that's going to do it for us. Let's get to do it for us here on the show. So thank you, everybody who took the time to tune in. These are always brought to you by our friends at Mighty Swell. I'm Kyle Krabs, Joe Marino, and Chris Schubert. Thanks, as always, for checking out the Draft Dudes. Have a great night. Have a great weekend.